Hi ladies, here's some video that Wesley and I captured of you today, just the very end of your workout. So I wanted to go over it with you and see what we can find. All right, so we'll start just playing back at normal speed. Kind of the main thing that I see, obviously this is on starboard side, so we're going to be picking on you, starboard, is that it just seems like it stalls at the catch, right? It's a bit of a hang, and then you decide to enter. That goes for the whole crew. So I think we need to be just a little more intentional and a little quicker about getting those blades in at the catch. I think we'll zoom back out soon. Certainly, we're not moving our legs up the recovery at the same time either. So I think we need to work on that rhythm out of the bow of how we're going to get up to the catch. Because I know Eliza has the longest legs of everyone in the crew. So in order for you guys to keep up with her, you're maybe kind of zipping up the slide a little bit more. So we need to figure out kind of at what point we need to have those quicker leg recoveries. Like you can see the difference looking between Claire and Eliza. Claire, how you're just zipping up a little bit. You might be getting there a little too fast actually. So just a little more patience that last quarter that we're not slamming into the front stops of the slide. So nice and controlled into the catch. Got a nice close-up of Joe. Joe, it looks like you could get a little more grip off that first. Be a little bit more explosive right here off of the foot stops. And I guess continue to watching starboard's blade work. All right, so now let's slow it down and let's go by this in a little bit more detail. So if I move this to about half speed, and we'll see what we can see. Okay, so half speed, you can really see the differences in the square timing here on starboard. So if I actually just go back a little bit and go frame by frame and see what's going on. So it looks like, Joe, you're getting your hands away a little bit faster, and Arianna starts to square first, followed by Claire, Hannah, and then Joe. And I can definitely see the angles here that Claire and Arianna have a sharper angle versus Joe and Hannah. You have we need to get you more catch angle basically. So that could be more compression. It looks like Hannah, you're quite swung over, so that's nice to see. Joe, maybe a little more pivot to get that extra length. So on this stroke, Joe and Hannah, you're squared up nice and early, and we're able to catch. Looks like Hannah and Claire are the first ones in the water, followed by Arianna, followed by Joe. So Joe, especially when you're rowing in bow seat, it's really important. It's your job to get your blade in first, or to think about getting your blade in first. Okay, so let's look at the next one, because what I noticed in real time was slightly different than what I'm seeing in slow motion. So I do want to look at a few other strokes, because Hannah, you have a tendency of flip catching a little bit, or that's what I thought I saw when I was watching it in real life. But this actually looks quite good. So you're getting that in. Maybe just hold your hands a teeny bit lower so you're not skipping into the catch. And Joe and Arianna, your hands are maybe a little bit too low, that you're skying just a touch at the catch. So I actually want to see when Joe is actually buried, probably about here. And you can see, Joe, how much you've already, like you're no longer at your full catch position. You're already starting to open up. So you're already pushing with the legs here, but in the stern of the boat, we haven't moved our legs as much. So there's a timing definitely between bow and stroke that we need to watch out for. So if we keep going through, let's check out your finishes. Nice and looks pretty flat through the water. Claire maybe looks a little bit deep, slash maybe a little bit of a starboard lean, which I do believe you guys were mentioning today. So Claire is the last one holding it in. Looks like Joe, you're already starting to feather. Hannah and Joe, you're already kind of out and feathered, and our stroke seat is just starting to come out. Same with Claire. You can see the water dripping off the shaft, and Arianna is almost all the way out too. What I like about Arianna and Eliza's blade is I can see the paint. I want you to think about stepping out cleanly and showing me, or showing whoever is in your stern, show them the paint. Because here we've just kind of flopped onto the feather without really taking the time to step out and then square. Okay, so we want to step out, then square. And I think you're probably at a higher rate, maybe closer to 26 or 28 during this piece, but we really want to think about stepping out and then feathering, not feathering and stepping out at the same time, right? So step out and then feather. So show me the paint, show the person, show the umpires, show the chase boat, show the person off the stern, show them the paint. That's what you want to be thinking about. So on this side view, you can also get another look at how we're kind of stalling at the catch. There's a disconnect between the blade to seat timing. We get some zoom in here a little bit on the next few strokes, but let's just take a look at when we are actually buried. So let's look at when these four are actually buried. So it looks like Claire's buried, Arianna's buried, Hannah's almost buried, Joe is almost buried. I would say all four of you are buried here. So let's have a look at what's going on. So Joe is probably about half slide, Hannah maybe quarter, Arianna maybe about already pushed between a full and a quarter, I don't know, maybe a third, or sorry, if Hannah's a third, maybe Arianna's a quarter, and Claire is also pushed a little bit here. So the main thing is, and there's Eliza's down, shin's no longer vertical by the time that we're all in the water. So the main thing here is just making sure that we're actually in the water before we start to push. So that comes again with squaring up early. And just because I'm only picking on starboard side, because that's all I can really see, it doesn't mean the same thing isn't happening on port. So I do apologize for port. I tried to get the video around to the other side, but you guys were on the paddle. So I guess that's a note for the future. If you can see that I'm videoing you, don't stop. Or if I'm chasing you, don't stop. So here's, let's just go back, pick on Joe. Unfortunately, that is who we decided to zero in on today. Go back a little bit more. So one thing I noticed, so you're doing a good job of pivoting, because I know as you probably mainly sculled this summer, so I could see that's a good kind of nice lean in with your shoulder here, but your head kind of cocks over to that side, right? Try to get if you're going to lean your head to this side. So looking at like Hannah's or Hannah's the puddles of the boat, right? So just trying to get your gaze this way, and that will force your head to also go that way. So just watching kind of what your head is doing, that's going to affect your body position as well as balance a little bit, especially in bow seat, important to set the balance. So you can see your shoulders are actually moving. I'm just looking at your shoulders in relation to Hannah Anderson's shoulders to get an idea of your timing and your sequencing in relation to Hannah. Oh, we got a lean to port on this one. So you are now starting to drive, and Hannah looks like she's just a fraction behind, but she is pushing a little bit more with the legs compared to when you're opening with the shoulders. And now she's going, she could probably get a little bit more hang as well. Now she's going with the shoulders. So by the time, let's see, when you're both, upright. You're just a little more upright a little bit earlier, and legs are down. Hannah still has a little bit more to go with the legs. And then we're finishing into the body. And even though you started a little bit first, Hannah finished a little bit first. And that's probably just she's taking a little bit quicker, a little bit more acceleration through the water to be able to finish a little more quickly. All right, sorry, Joe, I'll stop picking on you. So this is maybe a view of Hannah Skelton's blade. Looking better. You're not flip catching on this one. So just making sure you could square a little bit earlier still, I think. Get a good shot here, Arianna, of watching your hands. You can really see a distinctive motion from your shoulders lurching here down into the catch. Let's try that again. So just watching how low your handle is getting down and right how much space you have clearance of the water. So let's watch these ones again. Go back. So watching your shoulder, that's that outside shoulder that wants to take that dive down into the hull at the catch. So watching, making sure that your handle stays level. So if we watch Courtney's hands, stay nice and straight, and your hands kind of do this bobble down to the rigger. Okay, so let's look at everybody's heights off the rigger. Maybe this isn't the best angle to do it. So there, Joe, whoops, undo, Arianna, Courtney's way over the rigger, Claire, and Eliza. So just a little bit difference in matching up. I would advocate maybe Arianna and Claire and Joe trying to have their hands a little bit higher here at the catch. And Anna, probably your hands a little bit higher at the catch as well. So as I'm saying, kind of if you're rowing and you can sort of reach, think about reaching your hands up for Courtney's armpit, right? Reaching up for the horizon. That gives you a visual point to focus on, to bring those, to think about bringing those hands up. So also for you, Arianna, is watching what that shoulder is doing. So that shoulder, as you kind of pivot around, that shoulder is also taking a dive, which is causing the outside hand to take a bit of a dive forward. So this is the extent of the on stern shot. And we can see it looks like Hannah A could square a little bit earlier too. So just making sure that we're finding that rhythm together. So I think at the lower rates, you maybe had a little bit better rhythm. Certainly I thought you were swinging together nicely and had good rhythm there. Now it's just more finding that blade timing, I think. So we have a really good foundation with the bodies, I think. Like we're not opening up too soon. Well, let's go back and see, actually take another look at that now that I said that. See how we're doing through the water, making sure we're really getting on the legs. And I'm quite happy with that. I think you guys are, for the most part, hanging pretty well. And now we just need to get the blazing quicker. It's that quick in, not up to the catch, then square, then put it in. It's you're going up to the catch while you're squaring, and so you're thinking about putting the blade in before the catch, right? Putting the blade in when you still have one rotation of the wheels to go. Making sure you're getting that backsplash, making sure you're feeling that connection, feeling that load before you drive. So those are a couple things that I think we need to work on over the next few rows, both before Boston and potentially before St. Catharines as well. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Happy to address anything that you have to say. But yeah, overall, getting some good rhythm, some good swing. Now we just need to get that blade to seat timing and really focus on that to execute that in a short amount of time. All right, thanks ladies. I will see you in the morning.